everyone, my name is Alison Roddy and thank you very much for having me here today. I'm the Operations Manager at Seating Matters and today I'm going to talk to you about the next level of yokoten. Sorry, clicker trouble. And my goal today is to really challenge your thinking and inspire you all to take action. And at the end of my talk today, I'm going to set you all a challenge. But first, let me tell you a little bit about me. So I started my career in manufacturing right out of high school, doing an apprenticeship in woodworking with a local kitchen manufacturer. I absolutely loved that environment. I loved to design, I really loved to make things, and I loved to see it all come together. I would spend the next 15 years of my career in that same company, working through various roles within operations. I also loved to practice yoga. I would practice yoga every single day, every morning and every night, so much so that I would even go on to teach classes in the evenings. But 15 years after, sorry the screen's a little off, about 15 years after I started my career in manufacturing, I found myself a little lost. One day, as I was leaving work, I locked up the factory and I was walking towards my car. As I got into my car, I sat down and I felt this overwhelming feeling of heaviness. I sat in the car almost very slumped-like in the car, and I'm not a slump-like person. I'm usually very poised and in control most of the time. And I felt this heavy feeling that came over me. It came from the very top of my head all the way down the top half of my body. I'd never felt a feeling like that before in my life. I turned on the ignition and I started to drive home. It was a short journey, but I only made it about halfway. I had to pull over. I was completely overwhelmed with negative emotion. I sat there in the car trying to process my thoughts. And some of the thoughts that I was feeling back then, I realised that I was lost and confused. I lacked enthusiasm, not only in my job, but also when I was teaching yoga classes, when I was playing my sports, even whenever I went home to my family to be with my kids. I wasn't that happy, bubbly person. Like, frankly, I was bored to tears. I went home that evening, the feeling still stayed there, and that feeling stayed there for months. I had this overwhelming negative feeling. I used to Google every single day. I am 30 and I have no idea what to do with my life. It was an awful feeling. As I was scrolling through Google, trying to find the answers, one day I found the answer and I thought, that's it, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to school and study for the academic degree that I thought I was missing out on. I thought this is the fulfillment that I'm going to get. I got excited. I started to talk about my plans to my wider family and friends. And during this time, I spoke to my sister, who also started to tell me about her work. And her work was going through lots of changes. She had went on to tell me that her bosses had just come back from Japan and they were changing everything. They were actually tearing down walls. They were telling her to label her pens, telling her to do her job better. She wasn't sure how to feel about this. But I had just spent 15 years in a company that had very little change. I was intrigued. I moved to the edge of my seat, saying, tell me more. I want to know more about this. And the more she told me, the more intrigued I became. I asked if I could get a sneaky little look around her work, and that just happened to be Seating Matters. On that first day that I got to go in on that sneaky look around her factory that I shouldn't have been in on, I knew as soon as I stepped inside the factory that there was something really special. And this is way, way, way back at the very beginning of Seating Matters' lead journey. The factory doesn't look how it does now, but there was something even special even then. As I walked around the factory that day, I met Ryan and I spoke to Ryan about, Ryan told me about this new way of working, this new way of thinking. He was asking his team to come up with ideas to make their jobs better, to provide a better service for the customer, to improve, to reduce waste. A lot of it I didn't really understand what Ryan was, I actually didn't have a clue what he was talking about, but I felt the energy. I heard the buzzwords, I heard better, I heard improve, I felt the energy, I felt my manufacturing heartstrings being pulled. And I knew right there and then that I was going to cancel my plans to go back to school and stay in manufacturing, the industry that I absolutely love. But we're not here today to talk about me. We're here to talk about yokoten, the Japanese concept. The practice of sharing ideas laterally across an organization. We all know that yokoten is the glue of a strong organization. We all know that yokoten recognizes that an idea must be understood to succeed. And we all know that yokoten is critical to building a true learning organization. Every morning when we hold our morning meetings, we get to get everybody, or as many people as we can, together in one room, and we get to discuss our ideas. We're talking about problems that happened yesterday. We're coming up with ideas to make it better, and we're showing improvements on how we made our job better from the day before. As many people as we can get into that room are in that room, because the power of yokoten is really strong. Lots of those ideas can be shared and copied exactly across other departments, and lots of them cannot be, they have to be adapted. But what everybody is getting to see is the real thinking behind the improvements. Everybody's getting to see the thinking behind the problem solving. So no matter where the problem is, everyone's getting to understand how we problem solve. They're getting to see how the ideas are generated. And they're also getting to see how we have made things better. The true essence of yokoten really is seeing the thinking behind the improvement, the thinking behind the better way. And we get to share that every day in our meeting. About 4 years ago at Seating Matters, we decided to officially open our doors for factory tours or facility tours. We call these Lean Made Simple tours. Not long after we started these tours, we realized that something very, very special was happening. Our people that were showing visitors from all around the world their factory, their areas, their ideas, showing off their improvements, telling their stories, were absolutely beaming with pride. Their chests were out, their shoulders were back and down, there's big smiles on their faces, there was a spring in their steps. The energy on tour days is absolutely contagious. It's an incredible energy. What we also noticed was that our standards started to increase by having visitors from all over the world come to see us. Not only the standards around our physical facility, but the standards in our systems and how we used our systems really stepped up. If we were going to talk the talk, we really had to walk the walk. We had to know what we were talking about. So everything stepped up a level. We also noticed that our visitors started to give us ideas. So as we were showing people around our accounts department, for instance, somebody would say to us, we use that same system, and do you know that there's a bolt-on that you can get for that? No, we didn't. But thank you for sharing that with us. Or we could have been in our wood area, for instance, and somebody would nudge you on the arm and say, we've just shown off a process that we think is absolutely incredible. And they'll say, do you know there's a machine that you can get that would reduce that process by 16 steps? No, we didn't. We got to go and see things like that from other people telling us their ideas. And just by coming to see us, they started to see what we were giving back to them. They started to tell us stories as well and give us ideas. And we also noticed that they took our ideas and our systems. Lots of these ideas we borrowed from lots of people in this room and lots of people from around the world. They took our ideas and our systems back to their own facility and made the ideas better. Took the systems and made them better. And then they told us about it. They gave the systems back to us. We realized this was the next level of yokoten. This was an incredible level that meant that we could now share ideas across the world. at a level that not only benefited us, but was benefiting thousands of organisations around the world. We're crowdsourcing ideas by inviting other companies in to see us and by going to see other companies. Paul mentioned it earlier, we need to expose our people to other factories, to other facilities, to other ways of working, to new ideas. Lots of organisations over the years have opened their doors and welcomed people into their factories, into their facilities. We all know here that the Toyota production system itself is based on the Ford production system. Ford opened their doors years ago and allowed Toyota to come in and study their production lines, meticulously study their production lines. And what did Toyota do? They went back to Japan and created the Toyota production system, an incredible system that not only does lots of organisations around the world use, but Ford use that today in their production lines, a version of it. In 1962, Volvo opened their 3-point seatbelt patent for the rest of the world to use. This was a design that could have netted Volvo an absolute fortune in patents alone, but they decided to share it with the rest of the world. Why? Because it was too important not to. In 2014, Tesla open sourced their patents. They allowed their competitors, everybody in the world, to look inside their patents. Why? I'll let Elon explain. Can we turn the volume up? I'll just go back.
If we're all on a ship together and there's some holes in the ship and we're sort of bailing water out and we have a great design for a bucket, then even if we're bailing out way better than everybody else, we should probably still share the bucket design because we're all going to sink.
We're all going to sink.
Close the holes.
Would Fastcap be the company they are today if Toyota and their suppliers hadn't opened their doors and allowed Paul and his team to go in and visit them and learn from them? Would the concept of 2-second lean have even been created had they not opened their doors? 15 years. I spent 15 years in the manufacturing industry, and not once did I hear the term lean. Not once did I go to another company with the intentions to learn from them. I'm sure there are people in this room where that number's higher. I'm absolutely sure of it. And that's too long. There are millions of people in this world that still don't know the information that we have. We have the knowledge to absolutely change lives. We can help them. No matter what stage of the lean journey that you're on, there are people here that are just in it months, and there are people here that are into their lean journey for over 20 years. No matter what stage you're on, you still have information that can help other people. So here's where my challenge is. It's a 30-day challenge, and the first thing that I want you to do is create a video of your facility and share this video with 5 companies and personally invite them to visit you.
Excellent.
Number 2, post a copy of 2-second lean to another 5 companies. Write a personal note in it, say whatever you want to say, but make sure they know that you're there to help them. And number 3, find one person in this room to hold you accountable to that challenge. That person might be sitting on the same table, the next table, but after my talk today, I want you to share your number and check in with that person in 30 days. Some of you are already doing a video or already have a YouTube channel and maybe an up-to-date video of your facility. So find your stretch. Yoga teacher in me is telling you to stretch yourselves. Find your stretch. Paul, you were on a stage last week with over 2,000 people. That's a stretch for me. Everybody has a stretch. You can go further, we can all go further. There are still millions of people in this world that don't know this. So let's go out there and share our knowledge. And I know a lot of you are thinking, is she really standing up there asking us to push? I know that's what you had said, Paul, whenever I had shared my topic with you. Yes, I'm actually asking you to go out there and push this knowledge onto people. I'm asking you to share this knowledge. I wouldn't have done most of the things that I've achieved in my life had someone not pushed me to do it. That's me. I'm that person that needs that little push, nudge, encouragement, pull, whatever you want to. I know Austin said yesterday that he had to push his leaders to be able to get them to change the culture. You had to do that. It's necessary. So yes, I'm absolutely asking you to go out there and push. I have a secret. I absolutely love push. Sorry. I absolutely love push. It's not always necessary, but it's definitely needed in life. So yes, I'm actually asking you to go out there and push. Why? Because it's too important not to. So let's go out there and share. Prove to all of the visitors that come to you that the barrier to entry for improvement is so low. Prove to them that they too can create a workplace culture of learning just like yours. And prove to them that our people are just like their people. There's no magic water where we come from. Thank you very much for listening to my talk today.